What you are about to see is a meeting that Farsight remote viewers had with two extraterrestrials during the month of October 2024. Now, we have been meeting with this group of extraterrestrials for a very long time, and they have been helping us grow as a company and institute since the beginning. But now they are insisting that we record and publish these meetings so that all of humanity can see and hear what is going on during these communications. Now, since we started publishing these meetings, both the board meetings and the conversations with Harvey, it has been interesting to watch people's reactions. Some people accept these meetings at face value based on our reputation as remote viewers who publish all of our data, but others are more skeptical. Some suggest that they can accept only so much, but not more. Some say that their acceptance wall ends with the question of whether UFOs or UAPs exist. Others go a bit further and entertain the idea that there are inhabitants of the UFOs. Now, others accept that a crash retrieval program exists within the United States government, and still others question what the extraterrestrials have been doing all this time, going back thousands of years. And still others accept the idea of telepathic communication among extraterrestrials. So everyone has an acceptance limit, and things that go beyond that acceptance limit are often dismissed or even ridiculed. Now, this makes no sense to us, since especially we have been showing people how to reliably make video recordings of these spacecraft. And if the UFOs are real, then obviously they have inhabitants and obviously they're doing stuff here. So we decided not to wait until everyone is on the same page regarding extraterrestrial contact with humans. And our ET friends seriously do not want us to hold anything back. They do not seem to care whether people accept their existence as real. They just want no secrets, come what may. Now, the communications in the ET board meetings are entirely telepathic. The Farsight remote viewers took years to be able to communicate in this manner with extraterrestrials while remaining in a normal waking state of consciousness. Now, this meeting happened on the 23rd of October 2024. We collectively did the best we could at translating the telepathically perceived communications into the English language so that they could be recorded on video. All right, I want to welcome everyone to our ET board meeting. We have two guests with us here today, and I want to thank them for being here and visiting, and this is being recorded so that not just can we hear, but all of humanity can hear when these things happen. I want to thank everybody for being here. You've all been a real great group to be with for years. I really appreciated it. Now they're telling me to shut up and get into the meeting. Okay, so why don't you guys start off the meeting and tell us, this is, yeah, okay. I guess I'll start. Okay, they're jam-packed stuff here. Okay, this is crunch time. This is crunch time for the whole planet. And they want no one to mistake it, that this is crunch time, that this is the time that everything is going to fall apart. This is the time people have been predicting type of crazy things to go on for like ever, but this is the time where it really does happen. And they want everybody on the planet to know that they're not fully, but they are involved in it and they're responsible for it. And they want to make sure everybody on the planet knows and gives basically credit where credit is due. They did not create the crises that the planet is having right now. They did not set up any of the wars. They did not do anything. They did not set all that was set up by the people that Courtney calls the bad ETs, but they were supposed to be strung out over a long period of time, one crisis sequentially after the next, to keep humanity in a constant state of turmoil. And the only thing that our side has done, that our group here, that our side has done, is to condense all of the crises so that they happen all at the same time, so that everybody on the world can see that the stuff is going on. This is the time for disclosure, complete disclosure, not just disclosure of the extraterrestrial stuff, but a disclosure of all the stuff and the manipulation that's been happening within humanity. You should not blame humanity for any of this stuff. This stuff has all been orchestrated, so when you see bad things being disclosed, that it looks like humans have done things to humans, this is all behind the scenes. Just a little slow down a little bit, just give me a second to catch up. It's behind the scenes stuff that has been going on for a very long time, and they want us to be able to tell everybody on the planet that the only thing that they have done, the only thing, they have not caused any of the crises at all. The only thing they have done is move the crises so that they all happen at the same time. And they are trying to completely destroy the ability of the powers that be, what Courtney calls the bad entities, to control the agenda anymore. And that means their human collaborators can no longer control the agenda anymore. They want the entire walls of the prison to fall apart. And the only thing that's supposed to result, and everybody in humanity is supposed to understand, the only thing they really want out of all of this is honesty, the complete end of secrecy. This planet cannot continue as a prison as long as there's complete honesty. The bad guys, or the bad ETs as Courtney calls them, they will completely lose control of this planet. You have to trust me on this, they said. They cannot control this planet without psychological manipulation. There's a psychology that's doing this, nothing more. There's no walls. And we have a gun to their heads. They are not allowed to do anything physical. They cannot do anything. If we have more military resources in this solar system than they do. They dominate on the planet Earth, but we have more, and we have a gun to their head so that they can't get out of control with this regard. But we are a free will ET. We are a free will species. Our side of the entire galaxy is free will species. Unless humanity wakes up and actually sees this and makes an open choice to side with us rather than the controllers, what Courtney calls the bad ETs, there's nothing we can do. So our whole thing is to get oh God, you go so fast. The whole thing is for you guys, for humanity to understand that this is an attempt not to destroy humanity, not to disrupt humanity in the sense that we're causing the problems, but to force all the things that the so-called bad ETs have been orchestrating behind the scenes with their human collaborators to happen all at once. And that, okay, they're actually stopping for a second. They want me to shut up. They're actually asking Yame to talk.
Why me?
I don't know. They just said, let Yame talk right now.
I was still catching up with you. I was
having trouble keeping up as well. Go ahead. I've never seen them so animated, but go ahead.
Yeah, this is a really big there's a lot of you guys are really at it.
Yeah, they really are.
And it's hard to translate.
It's okay, they'll make it work.
Okay. Within the next few weeks, during the presidential elections, there are going to be a lot of different tumultuous things that are meant to be used as distractions. Do not be distracted. That's what they're saying here. Do not be distracted by these things. Pay attention. They say you all, or we all, they're talking to us all. You all seem to allow the little things to come into the forefront of what's really actually happening. These are placed here as blinders. These are placed here to keep you from the truth. These are placed here so that you're not seeing what's really going on. And this election is a really, can I say that?
Say whatever you translate it. Don't hold anything back.
This election is a really big ruse. The things involved in this election is Can you slow down? The things involved in this election is to bring forth more chaos, to cause a merging together, a coming together in bad. They use a different word, but to come this translation is interesting. Banding together with hate, coming together with hate, coming together with mischief, coming together with aggression. Mind your temperaments. For those who are seers, or for those who are telepathic or psychics that are heavy within their psi ability, out here, write down your dreams. Write down the visions that you're having so that you can document what is happening. Most of you have seen these things, but you are looking at it as though it is a animation, like a cartoon. You're looking at it as though it is something unrealistic because it's hard for you to believe. So you're writing it off. Stop writing off what you know and follow what we are sending you. So there are messages that are being sent to more than just those at Farsight. There are messages that are being sent that we are sending to the people that we know have the ability to understand us, to see us, to hear us, so that we can all come together to fight what needs to happen, to do what needs to happen next. But you all are writing it off as though it's not true. You know what is real, so follow it. Psychic attacks. Tune in, change the frequency. You have the ability to make the sounds become what you need them to be, to do what is necessary, to gain the knowledge, information, and tools needed to move to the next level. Your world is shifting. Yes, we've been saying that for some time now. But your world is shifting, and is shifting at a faster pace. Your time is moving quicker. Your days are quicker. Your hours are quicker. So you have to start to follow these notions quicker, on a faster pace, or you will lose out. Disease.
So I get a sense of the exhaustion and tiredness that is sort of coming out of all of the distractions, as you put it. That stuff is designed to exhaust the population. And a big part of that exhaustion is when you're exhausted, you are more malleable. You are more accepting of extreme situations that may just be presented to you, and you'll just take them lying down. But when you're not exhausted, you're able to have the clarity to vote with your feet. And if you vote with your feet or vote with your actions, you'll be able to take advantage of what I think this tumultuous future that we're all looking at is going to give us, which is a great opportunity to create a different reality. And when I say different reality, I also think it's akin to, there is a list of options presented to us by the information circuitry that's around us, and that there is more that we can do than the list of options that are presented to us. But if you're in a state of exhaustion, you will only see the list of options that are presented for you in terms of what you can do with your future. But if you aren't exhausted, if you're within yourself, you're grounded within yourself, you'll be able to take this time where everything seems like it's falling apart, and it'll be a joyous thing. You'll be able to look at the world and you can say, well, I can now paint what I want in the space. But That's what I'm getting a lot with this exhaustion. It's like it's a great opportunity, while at the same time it's a great distraction and a great effort to continuously bog people down if they can get enveloped or wrapped up or caught up in the tumultuous things that are going to be happening. I also get a sense that with the idea of the free will concept, that is tied into how much they're able to, or they're willing to influence or change up the situation, because the negative situations that we have in front of us and the negative events that we have in front of us that are being compressed, that is something that's ultimately being orchestrated from a negative thing from above, but at the same time we have a real part in that. Our species has a real part in how those things actually look based on our conscious mind's involvement in the plan, in what the original plan for the negative ETs was. However, we have their method of instead of just putting a new thing on the board, but to accelerate things so that we can wake up and see it. It fits with their definition of being sort of these intense free will beings, which is they're not really changing the plan. All they've done is create a situation where time and the sequence of events has been shortened so much that we can see what's going on and hopefully do something about it, because it's like turning up the temperature in the sense of our awareness, just making it so that this is more obvious than it would have been otherwise. If the tumultuous stuff is spread out a little too much, then that requires the mind to be far more sedated, and if we're far more agitated, then we have a far greater likelihood of being able to jump out of the pot into something new, something that we create ourselves, which still falls in line with that free will paradigm. So that's why they're not exactly, there's less of an emphasis on presenting a future and more of an emphasis on presenting a crunch point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm being told to talk to Kamaya for a second. They're telling me that you have a particular audience that is unique, that watches you, and that they have a sense of your not understanding or valuing or understanding the importance that you're playing, and that nobody else has direct access to that sector of the audience that you have. And they want you to speak, not waiting like later on into the meeting, but early on, and take assertive control of the stuff that you're picking up is like super important. And that audience is not listening to me. It's not listening. They're listening to everybody, but they're waiting for you, and you must not diminish your impact. It's not like you're just contributing to everybody else, but you are contributing to everybody else, but you're also speaking directly to an audience that is tied into you. And they're really emphasizing to know that there's no one that can replace you for that audience. As a contributor, everything is all good, but there's also the sector that is just is locked onto you. And they want me to shut up now, and they want you to speak.
I don't like being put on the spot.
Yeah.
I guess I feel like a lot of things for me are like felt inside when I'm viewing things or hearing things from them. It's more like a feeling. So what's coming up next, it makes me feel a little uncomfortable, but I mostly am excited. I'm looking forward to the rest of the world kind of catching up is the way I see it. I've felt this moment coming for a while. You can just look around and see that nobody's really following the agenda. A lot of the masses, even though they might kind of appear like they're asleep, they've got one eye open. everyone is watching this election as well. It feels different. Even the candidates, like, they feel different. When you're watching the debates, something feels off. And I'm waiting for that kind of, I don't know what word I want to use. Kind of like when two magnets are kind of pressing up against each other.
The opposite way?
Yes.
Yeah, the repelling.
I'm waiting on that to kind of subside, and I feel like it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And as we get closer, I can feel it deeper, like in my person. So for me, it's more like I'm embracing all of this. This isn't a fearful moment for me. I'm not scared. Okay? I'm ready. I'm looking forward to it. I want to make this happen. Yeah.
You were onto something. I
know,
want to
I
hear what you
know.
was about to say next.
I guess another thing that I've kind of had this realization of by being here at Farsight for so long is that I feel like, I don't even know how I want to word it, guys. We see it, okay? We hear it, we feel it as a group, as the masses, and we need to turn that attention back towards them, not towards each other. Put the fire under them, not under each other, not making each other feel bad because, oh, you don't know what's going on, like, you don't understand this is a slave planet and da-da-da-da-da-da. Always just turn that focus back to the beings who have made this planet into what it is today.
I think that's very true. I think it's really special to think that our version of mission accomplished is everybody is a remote viewer and we're all out of a job, because that's the future we all want to live in, is that telepathic and truthful society. And I do think we are going to be taking a massive step forward towards that in the midst of a lot of this tumultuous stuff, because I think that's exactly right. The fire is really under the masses' seat as well.
Y'all got to embrace it. You got to
Believe
grab that thing and just hold on. Hold on and don't let go.
Exactly.
I'm getting a sense of whatever is happening is affecting the fabric of time, and it's not just for us. We're in the age of Aquarius, so it's not just for Earth. The ebb and flow of time, it affects the whole universe. So as much stress as our planet is under, I'm also getting a sense that these ETs that are sitting with us are also experiencing the same amount of stress. I'm getting a sense that their leadership is also going through a change, and that they're also stepping up to be like, we want change now, and we can't keep sitting on our asses just, waiting for the perfect time. And change is happening there as well. It's not a total peaceful period of time for them, and as much change, or as much as we're putting the change in our own hands, they are as well, for the common folk, so as to speak, that they want to step up, and kind of, for us to like sit here, say people in the United States, to sit here and watch what's happening in the other parts of the world, and it's sickening, and at some point you can't deal with it anymore, and you want change, and you can't just wait for the leaders, say people up in Washington, to just sit around and say, oh, the change comes from them. Absolutely not. It's gonna come from us, and the universe is demanding that of us as well. We go through periods of darkness and light, and this is one of those very, very important periods where there is a shift. The scales are shifting, and with that, it affects us as well, because all of us, like the remote viewing is possible because we're all one anyway, right? We're all part of the same energy that flows through the whole universe, and that energy is being felt outside of this planet as well.
I get a visual as you were speaking of like a waveform having a force of attraction with other waveforms, sort of like how I guess if you imagine like radio channels would work, there's like there's certain bands where you can get a really clean signal and stuff like that, but I get a sense that it's a little different. There's like, if you imagine just this milieu, this wash of waveforms, each waveform representing a line of existence, they tend to collect themselves through some sort of force of attraction. And maybe this is something along the lines of superposition, but they collect themselves in these bands of collected spaces. And that is sort of the reason why this is such a collective awakening that's not just dealing with the human race, that's dealing with a whole bunch of other beings that they're sort of attached to it with us, because the idea of a collective collection of waveforms and then one of them wanting to sort of break out, that does happen, but it's the forces of attraction of the collective will sort of start to try to gravitate it down. So if the only way that we can really get a situation where multiple realities can all go up at the same time, that actually takes the whole baseline form of attraction between the waveforms and increases the height of that to a higher level as well. So that sort of, it's not exactly magnetism between realities, but that's the kind of the lowest level way I can sort of describe it, is that if the multiple worlds or realms of which we all exist in all are going up at the same time, the average between us is at a higher rate, so the fluctuations of which we are existing will exist at that higher tier. However, if only a couple of those guys are going up and the rest of us are down, then we would end up just ultimately dragging them down through some sort of quantum physics-y form of attraction that I don't really have a good name for, but that was sort of the telepathic abstract visual that sort of was translating as you were speaking.
You can correct me if my perceptions are right, but these are two women here. I don't know how are you perceiving it? They've
too feminine. Well, one more feminine, another in a more non-binary stance.
I didn't really sense genders with them. I just thought they felt like they looked like humanoid, more human
They're definitely
looking.
humanoid.
They look more human to me, but I didn't really pay attention too much to the genders of them.
I'm looking right at them and I'm getting this, they're feminine. We have two women here that are talking to us. Anyway, or two. Does anyone feel any different or sense any different when you're looking at them? Sorry to put you guys on the spot. No, they want us to put them on the spot.
I feel like they have like a softer energy to them.
I could say
and in
that.
a sense, like, you could perceive that as feminine, but they feel very like, they don't feel like,
I'm a man, I'm a woman.
you know what I mean?
Like
they
that.
just feel like they have softer,
Non-binary.
very demure.
I'll agree with that. I felt the softness.
Yeah, very tall and poised.
Shantae, what are you picking up?
I'm seeing more of a neutral. Definitely the that kind of comforting energy that you would get from what we, I guess, mentioned as feminine energy, but still very neutral in presentation.
Maybe that's why they're here. Maybe this is why these two people are here. They were picked. They were projecting in advance of all of the tumult, all of the crises that are going to be spilling out. It's like two mothers, in a sense, two feminine energies, a calming influence. This isn't like two male generals throwing the book at us. It's like two female or feminine energies, soft. I'm sorry, you can.
They're here to just really get out what needs to be said, and a lot of So a lot of the times, the way it is presented determines how it is heard. And so with these more neutral spaces, these more neutral energies that we're having, it does bring a level of comfort. And they're saying it's because we cannot deliver this type of message with a lot of energy. We have to deliver this message. We have to deliver these messages in a way where people can hear it. It has to be heard. So it has to be delivered in a calming space. And these beings have a way of casting the energy of like different frequencies over what is being heard so that it neutralizes the space. They have that gift to where much like the baddies, if when they want to cause destruction and chaos, they can put that frequency over what's being said. And now, oh, we're hearing it's a pandemic, wah! Right? Versus this is what's happening here. Versus, hey, let us get, parental. Not necessarily motherly, but parental. Let us focus. Let us listen. And let us get to the bottom of this shit so that we can move forward and bring forth what needs to happen. We can't do that with panic. We can't do that with
fear. I said fear and panic.
Right,
and all
fear.
that.
We can't do that. And so the last board meeting that we had, it was a masculine and feminine, and this one is more neutral because they need a more neutralized response. They don't need they don't need the people. When I say us, I'm referring to the viewers right now, the watchers, people who are watching us. They don't need us to go into panic mode. They realize we've already told you guys, hey, big crap's happening. I'm trying to watch my language, guys. I'm doing pretty good. Hey, big crap is happening here. Get some tissue. It's time. In a sense, that is the basis way. And financial, I kept hearing that earlier, but I wanted everyone else to speak, but it's really loud. Financial, and it's connected to the time. We all have mentioned time and how it's moving, not just here, but in the galaxy, in the universe within itself, how it's shifting, how it's reversing, how timelines are being crossed. I've actually seen, like, in real time, because time is not real in this planet for real, but in real time, I've seen timelines cross. And I've had witnesses see it too. They're shifting to the point where, like, what once was like down to a cup being here, and now that cup is right here. I've seen it, and other people have seen it, and it's very literal. Pay attention. Pay attention to your finances. It's like money is. There's a word for this movement, and for the sound. Disintegrating? No, that's not it. Help me out here. Money is
like flowing fluid, squishing around, or
lesser
Crumbling.
there.
Like
what did you
What do you
say?
mean, like dismantling, or
Yes,
like,
all of that. Money is bringing a fall. Money is losing its value, and so they're cranking up the prices to try to give the money more value, and that is hurting the people. And so I know you have heard us say, hey, don't make any big purchases. Don't go try to buy $1 million house, because in Atlanta most houses are $1 million. Stupid. Don't go doing these things. Put things away. Get into cryptocurrency. However, be mindful of putting all of your money into the electronic money. Be mindful of that, because there is, and I can see this clearly. Yes, okay. And so there is a path. Obviously, time is not linear, so we don't know what is happening in which way. Depending on who blinks 5 times versus who blinks 4, something can change. And there is a path where the electronic money does fall, not because the electronic money, not because the money is wrong. I can't say that word correctly, but because of technology itself failing. There is a space where technology itself gets lesser or is not working or is not transmuting, so it is making things disappear, even though the things are running smoothly as they're supposed to. So make sure you are separating your finances. You know, back in the day where they were hiding money under the bed and the floorboards, like we might need to get there, and as well as the separate, because the dollar is losing value, but the cryptos have the capacity to fall if technology falls. Yes, you're hearing something.
I was thinking stability is an overarching theme that they're sort of, even they're just their energy, their aura in itself, just to help us sort of engage in the telepathy as we're trying. I think stability is a big thing. I think also with the preparations that we've especially discussed at length with the previous video, the previous board meeting, a big, if you walk into it with stability in mind, or trying to preserve stability, as what you're saying with this financial stuff, to try to make sure that whatever you're doing evokes the energy of stability, which if I was to be so presumptuous, I'm going to assume that that's different for every audience member watching, what their version of stability is for their specific life situation. But when you're faced with what you're going to do in the time being, and you're saying, well, what should I do to prepare? I think however that manifests in your reality, the cultivation of stability, like a crop that a farmer would want to cultivate, sow the seeds for, is something that I think should be of paramount importance.
I think what I'm hearing them sort of saying is okay for me to emphasize that the only type of direct financial advice that we're giving is don't waste your money. Meaning, this is not the time to go on a $10,000 vacation and spend the whole bank account. Just for during the next 6 months, just don't spend money on things that don't need to be spent. So don't panic, but on the other hand,
Right.
but don't empty the bank account on frivolous things. Just don't waste your money for this time. No, so they're not telling people to be about being doomsday preppers or anything like that. They're just saying don't waste money. Just don't assume that tomorrow is going to be the same as today.
A frazzled mind will make hectic and irrational decisions.
Yes.
What I'm sensing is that these beings are actually suggesting that this is a time to ask for more for yourself, for your community. But what it looks like is like when you reach the boss level of a video game, and like maybe you keep trying over and over and you're just stuck at this level. So you can get stuck, or you can make it past this level. And as we discuss these distractions, so like one distraction can affect many people, but if we look at the individual level, what does that effect look like? If this is a time where as an individual you feel like there are multiple stressors building up, it's important to compartmentalize, break down each stressor, and realize that you can ask for more. This change your perspective of these stresses. I think that's what I was getting as we were discussing. Is this feminine energy? Is this masculine energy? Personally, when I think of just asking for more from the universe, it feels like a feminine thing. But I think that's just what they want to emphasize, is like, as we're globally experiencing these multiple different things, asking for more will push you past that. So it could be asking for more as far as like peace. It could be financial. It could be whatever you feel like is lacking. It's accessible when you realize that you can have that. So if it's feeling like things are building up, like if it's not one thing, it's another. Like, it's the time to ask for more. That's what I'm getting a strong sense of right now.
I think that's great. Yeah, a stable abundance mindset. That's a great attitude. A very happy and healthy attitude to take as you go into a shakeup. I'll call it a shakeup.
I guess it's sort of like to keep your eyes on the ball. The ball isn't the crumbling right now. Keep your eyes on where it's going, and the ball is going in a direction of really amazing good things. Peace. Getting the bad ETs off the planet is the huge deal. And getting to that sort of relative to where it is now, that paradise sort of, time period is where we're going. And, keep your eye on the paradise part, not the crumbling part.
That's true.
It's kind of like we all have read, like, the law of attraction, and whether or not you believe that exists, the main concept is, like, yes, we are acknowledging that there are many undesirable things happening, but that's not don't get too distracted from what could actually be happening. So
Just gotta grab on and hold on and believe.
And a quote comes to mind from Avatar: The Last Airbender, that darkness will always yield to light, and we have to become the light that we want to see as well. Darkness is heavy, it sure is, but you can also choose to focus on the light within. So something like that, law of attraction, gratitude comes into play very heavily, because that's kind of one of those things that will raise your vibrations, and focusing on love and kindness and joy. And there's a lot going on, but all these things are very, very, you can find them within yourself. You can call upon that joy and feel it, and, like, I don't know, bathe in it and just surround yourself with it, and surround yourself with love and kindness, and call upon all these different feelings, because that's kind of it can take us to, like, that point of light that is a tipping point where it overpowers, because love as a vibration, it is a higher frequency than hate, than greed, than all this other dark stuff that's that we're surrounded by. But yeah, just feel that. Encourage other people to feel it instead of feeling sick and tired and just depressed. That is not a vibration of change.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say when you look at the mechanics of what happens in our minds when we meditate, when we focus on something, anything, whether it's just you allow yourself to get caught up in a thought process, you just start thinking of, like, some event, the more you focus on it, the bigger it becomes, the more space in your mind it takes up, and eventually you're just caught up in a thought loop, and you're just going off on this thought train. But the mechanics of that, I feel like, can be extrapolated out into a much more macro sense, exactly paralleling what you're talking about, in the sense that we have things that we want to focus on. So if you're talking about the law of attraction, and you're trying about focusing on a love light type of happy reality, literally that is at a very micro level, you can see as above so below. That is a mechanic of your mind that you can just test out right now. I mean, you can see that when you put your attention on something, it literally takes up more space in your brain. It literally takes up more space in the scope of your awareness. So when you focus on something, it literally just, with experiential evidence that is incredibly apparent, it dominates the amount that you're aware of in terms of your reality. And that undoubtedly will trickle down into your physical existence. And when you sort of see yourself moving away from those things, well, the only responsibility to the user in that situation when you're seeing yourself move away from those things is just to live consciously. That's really what it means to live consciously, is to be aware of yourself as an awareness, and aware of what you're looking at, what you're focusing on. And so, yeah, I think that's a good thing, to live consciously, be aware of what you're doing, what you're thinking, and direct that energy, that attention to where you want it to go.
I recently heard something along the lines of, when you think of something for 17 seconds, that is what begins your movement in manifesting what that is. And so if you're thinking of, if you wake up on the wrong side of the bed and for 17 seconds you're angry, you're mad, because 17 seconds is very short. You're upset, and then you've called someone, you're talking about it. There's the momentum of that. And so about hours later, something's going to happen, and you're wondering if it's like a coincidence. No, you've you've put that into action. You hit the gas pedal on that by moving within that 17 seconds. And so just like they all have said, being cautious about your mindset, remembering if you stub your toe or step on a Lego, moms, dads, or step on a Lego or whatever, break a nail, anything, when you could respond in anger, make a choice to respond in peace. Make a choice to respond in love. Make a choice to respond in understanding. And that's something I have been teaching a few people around me as well as myself, is that it's a choice to vibrate low.
Yeah. They're telling me we're drifting a little away from the ET element, and they're also telling me that we can wrap this up, and they want me to say one thing about Kamaya again. They want her to be the last person to speak, and they want me to explain why. They're saying that you have a bluntness, a forceful bluntness where you just don't take shit from nobody. And that is a attribute that a lot of people don't have. And they want you to sort of summarize the essence of what they talked about today. And they want it to stop after you speak.
Well, that's a lot to put on my shoulders. But I guess to wrap it all up, I would say there's a lot to look forward to. There's a lot that is about to happen, and there's no reason to be scared. Again, you should embrace it. We should always embrace change, because 9 times out of 10 is going to come out working even better for us. I also don't think that change happens when you sit idly by and let just things happen to you. So at the end of the day, you should be aware. You should have a sense of direction, and then also, love and light. Embrace it too. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there's a scale, there's a balance, and that sometimes it is necessary to approach things with bluntness and honesty. And there's a lot of things that might get lost in the verbiage of being, I don't want to say like just accepting things and letting things, flow and go with, like, there's some times where you just have to embrace things and hold on to it and get done. We are here to get some things done.
I'm going to have one last statement. If you were to summarize these ladies, their message today, from what you've heard, and you're just talking about them, what they came to say, in one sentence, how would you summarize what they said?
In one sentence, I would say, be prepared to embrace the next part of this reality, of our reality.
Love it.
Thank you, Kamaya. Thank you, everyone. This is a great board meeting. I want to thank the both of you for visiting us, and we'll get it out as quickly as we can and as effectively as we can. They're telling me I can shut up and just say thank you all.
Thanks,
everybody.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks.